Christine. I am with AIM Transportation Solutions. I'm the Director of Marketing, and I am so thankful for you all for joining us. I'm going to give you a brief introduction on today's session, and then we'll get right into the fun stuff. So many of you are not first-time attendees to one of AIM's webinar. We're pleased to say we've gained a nice little following for our series. We host about 10 webinars a year. I would say one a month, but we sometimes miss a month, so it's about 10 a year. We've been doing this for the last 4 years, and these webinars are a way in which we support our customers and our non-customers. Anyone who's working in the commercial transportation sphere who has interest is welcome to join and learn. At AIM, we're in the business of providing transportation solutions, be it in the form of leased equipment, dedicated contract carriage, maintenance programs, freight brokerage, anything out there. The list keeps going on and on. We provide solutions beyond our service offerings in the form of information, just like this webinar today. We operate our own fleet of vehicles, so we know what you're all up against. We're currently maintaining over 11,000 vehicles, and about 400 of those are in our integrated fleet, where we also employ the drivers and operate the vehicles. So we share a lot of the same struggles with you all out there, and we want to just pool our resources and our knowledge, the experts we have internally and sometimes externally, and share all of our wealth of knowledge with all of you guys and make sure, you have access to all of the best minds out there. We have two of those best minds on the line today, Mr. Marcus Hawk and Larry Sherbarth. So we're here today to talk about the CVSA International Roadcheck and how your fleet can meet the road check with preparedness to avoid costly fines or even being placed out of service. Our hosts are both service managers here at AIM, so they know what goes into keeping vehicles on the road and compliant with the DOT. Larry, Marcus, hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. And when you are ready, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for the warm, introduction. I don't get called expert a lot, so thank you so much. To all the people that are joining us today, welcome. I hope it's a beautiful sunny day like it is down here in Gainesville, Georgia today for y'all. Today's topic is the Roadcheck 2022, CVSA International Roadcheck, sometimes referred to as the Blitz. We're going to cover some topics that's hopefully going to keep all of your equipment on the road, keep you moving, keep you safe, and some ways to get ahead of it. There's unforeseen circumstances out there, and AIM is here to try to help mitigate that stuff. So CVSA 2022 Roadcheck, the focus this year is going to be on wheel-in and wheel-in components. So each year, the CVSA focuses on a specific aspect. This year, it will be on wheel-ins, and those components are the support components that, maintain stability, control, all the areas of braking. If you see here, violations, including wheel-in components, are historically the highest. It's 25% for out-of-service violations, and one of the top 10 violations overall. Here in a few seconds, we're going to start going over what some of these components are. We as maintenance people, we use this vernacular to identify this stuff, and different areas of the country call different items different things, but we can go through this and kind of maybe help mitigate these problems. Larry, you on still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
So don't know why my camera's not working, but it's I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. Going over the International Roadcheck, which goes from May 17th to May 19th. This year, like you said, is going over the focus on wheel-ins. In the past has been brakes, airlines, stuff like that, tires. But they're looking basically at what carries a load on the truck, what maintains stability control, and critical items of braking to keep the truck safely on the road. Many components goes onto the wheel-in of the trucks to help carry that load. Items that they're going to be checking for this year are cracks or unseated locking rings or studs on wheels and tires. Check for bent, cracked, or broken rims on the inside and outside wheels. Look for loose or broken, missing wheels and fasteners, elongated holes. That way, if you have tires or old rims that has been used for many times, they're going to start looking for elongated holes to keep a wheel-off situation from happening. Checking all the clamping areas, make sure you don't see no slippage of any rust areas, stuff like that. That way it doesn't look like the wheel or items are moving. Check the internal and external hubs for any type of leaks. Make sure the caps are in place and the plugs are venting properly. Check for the inner wheel seals and make sure the inner wheel seals aren't leaking oil onto the brake sections. Check the tire valve stems and valve stems for leaks and make sure they have a double seal cap on the valve stem. It is required by DOT to have a valve stem cap on it. It could be an Argero cap, a flow-through cap, or it can be just a solid cap that has to be on it. Check for proper inflation, cuts, bulges, or any damage to the tire, both on the inside and outside duals. Check to make sure that you don't have no regrooved or tires on the steers. Make sure that they're virgin tires for highway use. Check for tire wear and measurements. Check to see how they are wearing. You do have abnormal wear. That's maybe a sign from bad bearings, loose bearings, or items of that nature. Check for improper repairs and sidewall bulges. You can have a sidewall bulge, but it can't exceed an 1/8 inch out because you may have a tire repair. But if that tire repair wasn't done properly, it bulges out more than an 1/8 inch, then it's going to put that tire out of service. Check for exposed fabric or cords, any type of damage to the tire. Check and see if the tire makes any kind of contact with any type of frame, pitman arm, any type of body, piece of the body of the truck itself. Check for markings on the tire, make sure it's good to be used on the correct axle. Make sure that the steer tire, if it's rated for the steer tire, that it's rated for on that truck. Check for debris between the tires, especially on duals that goes into construction areas or landmark areas. There's no wood or cement that's caught between the tires to cause it to fly out. And check to see if the tires are touching one another or any part of the vehicle. They'll still be looking at pitman arms, your slack adjusters, brake components, stuff like that. It goes along with this. Level 1 inspection is a 37-step procedure that these examiners do. This year, they'll actually be looking at 15 through 18, which deal with components of the wheel in situations. Again, they account for more than a quarter of the violations that are out there, and we strive to make sure that we try to catch every issue before it becomes a violation to keep all our trucks safe. Here are some examples on items that are going to be looking at. Left top corner is basically a hub seal that has been leaking. You probably have a seal that's gone out. The bottom left is an inner wheel seal. It's allowing oil to exclude from the hub area and get onto your brakes, and which is depleting your friction material won't have adequate braking for your brakes. Your right top is elongated holes or missing or broken studs on wheels. They'll be looking at that. And then tire measurements in the lower quarter. Tire measurements for drive tires, DOT is 230 seconds. Steer tires are 430 seconds and trailers 230 seconds. They also want to make sure that it's across 2 tread patterns and you have matching or good tread patterns across the axle and matching tire sizes. Next one.
So now that we've gone through some common errors that they find during these roadsides, next thing we want to discuss is how do you avoid these events? And essentially there's 2 categories. We have education and preventative maintenance. Education is something that can be done through proper driver's training, and then do those drivers and do the technicians understand the qualifications of out of service criteria. Driver's training in-house, through third parties, stuff like that. It's all great. We're here really to promote what AIM is all about, which is preventative maintenance. We want to get ahead of any issues, and we do that through our PM program. Preventative maintenance itself can be considered pre and post trip. These drivers, are they doing a pre and post trip? Are they seeing issues? Do they understand that it is a problem based on their education or training level? The second one is going to be your scheduled services. Here at AIM, that's what we're all about, scheduled services. Are we getting these units on time? Are we finding these issues? Are we taking care of them? Are we getting this unit back on the road? Is it safe? And are we going to breeze through these road checks? So the next couple slides are going to be some screenshots of RPM inspection points. So RPM sheet is a 172 point inspection where we're covering head to toe the tractor, the trailer, or that piece of equipment. In both of these, we're doing a PM, so we're taking care of maintenance issues, but we're also doing a DOT inspection at the same time. This is grounds for trying to avoid these issues. When the truck or the trailer or that piece of equipment leaves the shop, we have a great, we know that it's leaving there up to standard, up to par, and that when that driver goes through that road check, there shouldn't be any issues found. So that's the goal. And you can see here, one of the sections that deals with our tires. Are we looking at all this stuff? The tread depths we're looking at, the running clearances, we're looking at pressures. Even here on the right-hand side, you can see kingpin play, on the steer axle. That's stuff that is checked when it's here in the shop, so that when that driver's going down the road, he knows it's good to go, or he or she knows that it's good to go. Further down, you can see our graph that shows 30 seconds in air pressure for those tires. These are all things that technicians here in the shop are trained to go over pinpoint by pinpoint. And here's just an extenuation of that, and it covers more of our braking system, which is considered part of that wheel-in component. We do have our brake stroke measurements. We do measure our linings. When we have a unit in the shop for a service, we are going to call it time for a brake job well before it hits the DOT standard, because there's going to be 140 days, or it's going to be 30,000 miles before we see it again. So we don't want our customers having those issues over the road. So once again, it is preventative maintenance, so we're taking care of that before the fact.
Hey, Marcus.
Yes.
Long ago, the things on our PM sheet that goes with the DOT federal annual inspection, we just like to remind all the customers and people out there that every time we do a PM, we do a federal annual inspection. And we place our federal annual inspection sticker usually on the lower left corner of the driver's door. That way it gets updated every PM as long as the unit passes the DOT inspection. It is mandatory to have the DOT's inspection on the truck, but it is not mandatory to have a copy of the inspection sheet with the truck. We keep those inspection sheet on file with our company. So if the company needs a copy of it anytime, we can get a copy as addressed. But a lot of times that when the driver goes through the DOT, they say, where's your DOT inspection? A lot of drivers don't know that it's in the lower left corner, and they have their window in the down position, so it's not visible. So just make sure drivers are aware that when they go through, roll up their window and they'll see the DOT inspection sticker there.
Also, good point. Thank you. So our goals here at AIM, our goals are in line with our customers, whether they're current customers or they're thinking about becoming our customers. In that we want y'all to succeed the same way that we succeed. So one of our top goals is safety. We want to keep employees and other drivers on the roadway as safe as possible, but ensuring the equipment is properly maintained. That is something that me as a service manager, I'm signing off on paperwork all the time saying, yes, I know this vehicle is safe on the road. So I hold it close to heart that, your employees and your drivers are as safe as they can be. And ultimately it's because my family's driving down that same roadway, and I don't want anything that a technician missed to cause them harm. So safety is always the top goal.
And then we're up here to basically keep uptime We want to keep your truck on the road, your vehicle on the road as much as possible and as safe as possible. Your wheels are rolling, you're delivering your product, your company's making the money like it should be, and you'll be able to pay everybody and keep it rolling. We want to keep your trucks inside our shop as a minimum time, because if they're inside the shop, you guys are losing money, we're spending money, and we just want to get rolling down the road. That way everybody's happy, everybody's safe, and keep everything going.
Yep. Yeah. And then one of our other goals, and last goal on our list here is high scores. This is, some might see it as a selfish thing, but we want to be the best. We want the equipment that's going down the road to have the high scores. We want our customers to have high scores. We want everybody to see an piece of equipment and go, you know what, we know that piece is good. So when the unit receives that roadside inspections, everybody's getting passing results. It increases the CVSA score, and it lowers the visibility. If you're not getting pinged when you're going through the weigh station because they know it's an A piece, they know it's up to standard. We know it's safe. The uptime's there. That driver's still rolling, and everybody's happy. So that is the goal. Make everybody happy too. So that's pretty much it. We just want to make sure that everybody understands that we take pride in our job. We do want to keep that equipment up. We do want y'all to succeed just as much as we want to succeed. So with that being said.
All right, we are going to go ahead and open up the floor to questions. If anyone has any questions, they can go ahead and type them into the Q&A or the chat. I see one question come up from Leanna. She says, if a vehicle is being leased, who is responsible for making sure it is DOT compliant?
So a leased piece of equipment through AIM it's AIM's responsibility. We encompass the maintenance portion of that unit.
Along with that, it's also the driver's responsibility to make sure that they're doing the pre-trip and post-trip inspection. And if they do see any type of defects or violation, that they get wrote up and reported in a timely and properly manner. That way those items can be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that, it's definitely a team effort with that if it's your driver operating the vehicle and they see something that they're, making us aware, because we might not have as many touch points with the equipment as they would. So we want to, make sure we're all working for the same team on that one. All right. I had another question that came up directly to me on the chat. Let me see here. What are the key items my driver should be looking at in their pre-trip inspection?
Main items of pre-trip inspection. Of course, if you had a driver has a CDL license, they've gone through the pre-trip inspections already, so they should have a pre-trip inspection. But a lot of your pre-trip inspection forms that the driver should be filling out daily has what to be checked out. That's everything from lights to your fluid levels, belts, checking your tire pressures, brake lining, tie rods. I mean, some of it, I hate to say it, but the driver's going to have to put their hands onto some items and make sure they're in good condition. Some of it, when you look at it, where the DOT says the driver should see if the brakes are in adjustment, well, they got to pull on a cycle adjuster, but they're not qualified to say yay or nay. They're just going to see if it's operating condition. You have air leaks, how the truck is operating just as well. I wish my camera was working, but if your company would give the driver, each driver a DOT driver edition, DOT regulation book, that does have in there a good pre-trip aspect of what the drivers should be looking for. And it's all around inspection, physical and visual inspection of the vehicle.
Got it. And Stephanie asked, could we repeat the question? The question for that is, what are the key items my driver should be looking for in their pre-trip inspection, Stephanie? So Adam asked, would you be willing to share your PM checklist?
Yeah, any customer has, it's a customer of AIM. If you want a copy of the PM sheet when we inspect your vehicle, you get a hold of your service manager and they'll email you a copy of the whatever inspection form you request off of whatever vehicle or what day.
And sorry, Marcus.
And also, I know Larry said that it's not necessarily a requirement to have the latest up-to-date PM inspection sheet in the unit, but some do. So if you have a current AIM piece of equipment and you don't have a direct line to an SM, there might be one in that unit that you could look at too. So.
Yeah, good call on that, Marcus. And Adam, I'm going to send out, it'll probably be tomorrow morning. I'll send out a recording link to this video as well as a copy of the presentation. And if you just want to respond to my email, I'll shoot you the PM checklist as well, so you have it via email. Another question that popped up, other than wheel ends, is there anything else we should pay specific attention to for the road check?
Every year they really hit on brake adjustments. They've always been big on brake adjustments. It's been for the last several years. They're starting to come back around to chafing airlines or rubbing airlines. Even though the rules changed on that, they're starting to hit on that a little bit more. And just as simple as making sure you have extra fuses in your truck. I've been noticing here lately that a lot of DOT inspections are hitting drivers who are having extra fuses in the truck. And air leaks going with the brake system. Those are the main items. It seems like they've always been hidden, and I don't see them changing ever in the past. So go along those bases. Those are about the items they'll be really focused on, like they do usually.
And just to clarify something, just because they're focusing on wheel end components doesn't mean they won't be completing a whole DOT inspection of the unit too. So the best practice is just to be as ahead of the power curve as possible. So yeah, they are looking at the wheel end components and they are looking at some of these items that Larry already talked about. But once the unit's there, they're going to look at the other things too. And there's a very long list of things that would be considered out of service criteria. But the majority of this stuff, all of this stuff really is covered under a good solid preventative maintenance program.
Level 1 inspection is about a 37-step procedure. So they go through the whole thing. And like Marcus says, this is items that they'll be focusing on, but they'll be doing the full 37 inspection on these blitzes.
And AIMS PM is a very comprehensive service that would cover anything
well and beyond.
Well and beyond.
Well and beyond.
Absolutely. I have a question from Derek. How can I check the tire depth myself?
Well, you've got a couple of choices. The best is to, have a tread depth gauge. They're pretty common little tools. You can buy them all over the place. Little guys like that. But you've also got the old school stick a penny in the tread, and if you can see Lincoln's nose, then you know it's time to replace the tire.
Very good. Thank you, Marcus. All right, I don't have any more questions up on the screen, so we're letting you guys off the hook a little bit early here, but again, we'll be sending all the resources out tomorrow morning. I'll also include Marcus and Larry's contact information. So if anyone thinks of any questions after the fact, again, these guys are the experts, so feel free to hit us up and we're happy to help you with any answers that we can. I'd just like to say in closing, buying and maintaining vehicles is incredibly burdensome. Leasing with our competition, sometimes you're just another customer among thousands. Also less than ideal. At AIM, we bring that family owned and operated attention to each and every customer, each and every vehicle. I'm happy to provide you with some further information on what things look like over here at AIM if you're not with us already. So feel free to hit me up after the session here today and we can talk about anything you'd like to talk about in terms of vehicle maintenance, operation, or leasing. We appreciate your time today. A huge thank you to Marcus and Larry. You guys really did a great job. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for
Thanks,
everybody's
everyone.
time.